Hi, I'm Susan Dawson-Cook, and I'm the author of Fitter Than Ever at 40 and Beyond, Fitter Than Ever at 50 and Beyond, and soon to be released, Fitter Than Ever at 60 and Beyond. And I'm going to go through a resistance band workout with you that is a supplement to Fitter Than Ever at 60 and Beyond. So what you'll need to have is bands that look like this, a circle band, and then a long band. And you can usually buy these in different levels of difficulty. Usually if you get a package of them, you'll get a variety of different resistances. Some of them are really easy to stretch, like this one, and some of them are a little bit harder to stretch, like this is a little bit harder one right here. So that way you can just kind of play with them until you figure out which type of resistance band is going to work best for you. So I'm going to do the lower body exercises for you first, and we're going to use the circle band for that, and then we'll do some upper body with this. So if your balance is shaky, then what you'll want to do is you'll want to sit down when you put the band around your ankles, and then you can come over to a lunge and then step up. You can also sit in a chair and put it around your ankles and then stand up. So what we're going to do to start out with is we're going to do some squats. So when you do squats, you want to have the feet about hip width apart, toes and knees tracking straight ahead. So a lot of times people's knees kind of drift in and out. And when that happens, it puts a lot of stress on the knee joint. So I'll show you from the side so you can kind of see. I'm going to keep my weight in the heels so that the weight is you're working the thighs and we're not putting a lot of pressure on the knees. So we'll do, actually, I'm going to do 2 sets of 12 today, but feel free to pause if you want to do more repetitions or have a longer rest period. So we'll go back on the inhale and then exhale, push it up. So sitting back and then pushing it up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you can do different depths too. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, if this bothers your knees, another option is to just come down into the squat and hold it. You could just stay in the squat, and that way you get the muscles working. You don't have to go up and down. Now, instead of taking a rest, what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a different exercise, and then we can come back to this one for the second set. So we'll do a calf raise, lifting up on the toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now let's repeat the squat set again. Remember, you can do the isometric hold or you can go down and up. And you can do shallow or deep. Listen to your knees so that you do what's appropriate. And you can also sit and stand from a chair too if you feel more safe doing that. 1, drive it up with the hamstrings and glutes. 2, 3, try to stay engaged in the upper postural muscles so you're not letting the head fall forward and slump in the shoulders. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Let's do our calf raise now. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Okay, now we're going to do some side steps to work the outer thigh muscles. So let's start by doing one that doesn't require balance, and then I'll do on the second set one that does require balance, and then you can go do the one with or without, whichever you're more comfortable with. So right leg, step it out and step it in. 2, this band's really stretchy. 3, so yours may not be this stretchy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, now do the same thing with the left. Take it out. 1, make sure the side of the foot goes out, so you're not turning your toe out and you're really working the adductors. 3, 4, 5, keep the supporting leg slightly bent. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, good. So we're building strength in muscles. We want to work our major muscles so that we can stay strong and also maintain our muscle mass as we get older. Okay, now we're going to go back to the right leg. This time I'm actually going to sweep the leg out, and so my foot will leave the ground so that I'm getting a little balance. Again, I'm going to bend the supporting leg just a little bit so I'm not locking out the knee and putting too much pressure on the joint. So you can touch it out if you feel like balance is unstable, or you can lightly touch your hand on a nearby piece of furniture or wall to keep yourself from losing your balance. So please be safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, now we're going to do the left side. Nice tall alignment. Think about your posture when you're doing this. Are your ears stacked over your shoulders, stacked over the top of your thigh bones? Maintain that length. 1, side of the foot going out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now let's target the inner thighs a little bit. So take your right foot out to the side, and you're going to diagonally sweep that leg across. Now this takes a little bit of balance, so hold on to something or lightly touch with your fingertips for safety if needed. 1, go way back out again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I love to integrate strength that involves balance because it's good. We need to stay on our toes, so to speak. 2 more. 11 and 12. Okay, now left foot, take it nice and wide, come across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep that foot turned out. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Let's do a second set. Right leg out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Last set coming up with the left leg. Out to the side. Get that range of motion that you need to really work the inner thighs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Okay, now sit in a chair, or you can just step out of the band if that's easy for you. Okay, now let's pick up the long band, and we're going to do some upper body work now. Let's start with a nice wide stance, and I'm going to give you the option. If you feel like working your lower body a little bit more, then you can do plies while we do these lat pull downs. So, but otherwise you can just stay like this and just do the arm movements only. Now with this band, sometimes if you have arthritis in your fingers, holding on and gripping the band can be really uncomfortable. So another option is to just kind of wrap it around your hands, and then you don't really have to do anything with your fingers at all. So use that technique if that's better for you. Take the arms overhead, and we're going to pull down to the top of the chest. 1, and plie is optional. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make sure it touches the top of your chest. 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Take it down. Lunge side to side, nice and easy. Now come back to center, roll the shoulders. So when you're doing the same exercise again, you always want to make sure you take a little rest so the muscles can recover before you do a second set. If you just try to do one set and then take 5 seconds rest and then do another one, then your second set won't be very good. And ultimately, when you're doing strength training, you want to be very tired at the end of a set. So that's why you want to use a band that's hard for you, challenging, not hurting your joints, but just really working your muscles so that you can feel that you're getting stronger. And it's also important when you strength train to take a break between workouts, like between days. Like today you're doing a strength training workout. So tomorrow you don't do a strength training workout. The next day you can try another one, because it's actually during your recovery period that you start to get stronger. That recovery is where the muscles build up a little bit more so they're ready for the next workout. Okay, now bring the arms up. Ready? Pull it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Lower the arms and lunge side to side. Come back to center. Now come over to the left side of your mat. And we're going to do a step out and pull back. And you're working the backs of the shoulders here. So it's a rear deltoid exercise. So you're going to step and then either lift your knee up as you pull, or you're going to just step together as you come back out in front. 4, 5, either way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, nice job. Now go to the other side. So a lot of times people ask me, oh, that really hurts in the back of my neck. Okay, so rear deltoids don't get a lot of work, but I'm a big believer in working the back of the body muscles because those are the ones that don't get worked. And that's why a lot of us look like this. So I like to work the back of the body because that straightens you out. We want to stretch the chest and we want to work the back of the body. And we'll be working the trapezius a little bit later when we do some seated rows. Okay, so now we're gonna do a second set. We're taking a little bit of rest now in preparation for that second set. So, and remember, I showed both options with the step or the knee lift so that you can practice balance if you want to, because in the book, I talk about doing cardiovascular training, strength training, and balance. And sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I have to do all those things. So one way to kind of make it more efficient is to see if you can integrate a little bit of balance in your strength training. And that's what I'm trying to show you, give you some ideas on how you can do that. Okay, second set, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to do a bicep curl. And this one is another one where you can practice your balance. If you happen to have like a Bosu ball or a half foam roller at home, you can also stand on those. Like you could put the band underneath both feet, standing on a Bosu or a foam roller, and then you're getting a little balance and you're working. I'm going to work each one leg at a time, have it on here so that we can pick up the other leg and balance just on my mat here. So stand on the band right now with the right foot, and you can perch the left foot, or you can actually pick up the foot away from the floor. And feel free to wrap. And 1, 2, 3. It's okay to wobble a little bit. That wakes up your senses. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, one thing that's really nice to do after a strength workout is to stretch. And I am going to include a video on stretching also that you can use if you want to. But if you just kind of think about which muscles did I work and then stretching those out, then that'll leave you feeling really good. And I do teach yoga on Zoom, and I do have some videos on YouTube for yoga too, because yoga is very good for helping you to relax more and also to stretch and strengthen muscles. Now let's stand on the band with the left foot, and perch or pick up the right foot. And let's do a second set now. Really think about alignment. Stack your ears over your shoulders. Notice your core muscles. When you're balancing, you have to use your abdominals and your spinal muscles quite a bit. Okay, ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Excellent. Okay, now drop the end of the band and then just kind of stand on it. Drop it so it goes off to the right. Stand on it with both feet and hold on with your right hand and your left. So now think about engaging core. We're going to do an exercise that's specifically for your abdominals right here. So we're going to do a golf swing. If you have shoulder problems, just keep it low. Don't take it way up. This band is really tight, and so I'm not going to be able to go up real high with it. So just pace yourself and do what works. And if you have multiple bands, a lot of times what you're going to want to do is use harder bands for like the big muscle groups like chest and back. And then when you do core and biceps, triceps, you'll use one that's a little more stretchy because those muscles aren't quite as strong. So keep that in mind that you can change out your bands. I just happen to only have one with me. I'm at a second home in Mexico right now, so I only have this one. Okay, now ready? And take it across. 1, 2, 3, just turning your torso and staying stable. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Outstanding. Okay, now we're going to take it to the other side. So it'll be going off to the left this time, getting both feet on it. It's so important that you secure your bands when you're doing your exercises, because we don't want them to come loose and hit us in the eye or something like that. So just be really, really careful with your bands that they're secure when you're using them. And also, like, especially if you live in a dry climate, like, our main house is in Arizona. So they start to get like little cracks and holes and things. Then buy a new one, because you don't want to have one break and snap. Okay, so check your bands every time you use them. Make sure that they're okay. They're not brand new. Okay, now let's do a second set. Swinging off to the left. Hold on with both hands. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to do a couple of exercises for shoulder stability. So many people have shoulder injuries. And if you don't mind me giving you some unsolicited advice about that, just be really careful about what you're doing with your shoulders. Are you throwing a purse over one shoulder? Are you grabbing stuff from the back seat of the car and trying to wing it over? So you want to be really careful about doing things like that. Your humerus bone sits in a very shallow joint. The glenohumeral is really shallow, and so it's very easy to shift that bone out of position. And if your rotator cuff muscles aren't very strong, you can actually, when that happens, you'll pull one of the muscles and damage them. And then you can have kind of constant shoulder pain. So one of the reasons I'm doing these exercises is to strengthen your shoulder girdle and to improve your posture so that you'll have healthy shoulders that you can maintain for years to come. So now let's stand with one arm up, one arm down. Look straight ahead, stack your ears over the shoulders, and start to pull the hands away from each other. Now take an inhale, and then as you exhale, circle the hands around, continuing to pull the hands away from each other. Keep that constant activation between the shoulder blades. Inhale, and then exhale, circle. Keep looking straight ahead. Your tendency is going to be to want to drop the chin. So we're used to like forward head with the cell phone and the computer. So we want to train the back of the body to work so we have optimal postural alignment. Then your spine will be more comfortable, your neck will be more comfortable, and your shoulder girdle will function properly. So after we finish this set, I'm going to have you try something so you can see how hunching over makes your whole shoulder girdle dysfunctional. Okay, let's do a couple more. Nice job. Okay, so set that band down. We're going to use the little one in a minute. But do me a favor, try this exercise. Hunch over as much as you can and then try to lift your arms over your head. Can't do it, right? Okay, now stand up nice and tall and now lift your arms over your shoulders. Piece of cake. Okay, so what happens is when you're hunched over, it compresses the space in your shoulder girdle. And you've got your biceps and your 4 rotator cuff muscles and your deltoids all coming in a small space, and you've got a lot of bones in there and tendons and ligaments. And so you need to keep this space open so that everything can move with fluidity. Okay, it's so important. Okay, now pick up the little band and then just kind of like stick your thumbs in and hold the band between your thumbs and your fingers and anchor the band at your side so your forearms are parallel to the floor. Now we're going to open and close. In external rotation. 2, 3, 4, 5. If this bothers your thumbs, you can just stick your whole hand in there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that is to strengthen the 3 rotator cuff muscles that are in the back here to keep them stable. And what that'll do is it'll help keep the arm bone in the proper position so that it's not moving around all the time and you're not like irritating and straining the different tissues around that space. So now we're going to do another set. So think about your alignment, stack your ears over your shoulders. And let's do another set. Elbows stay at the side. That one of the reasons I like to do this instead of having one band at a time is usually when you use the single band, people are going like this. And what are they working? Deltoids, not the rotator cuff. So this forces you to keep your elbow at your side. In case you're wondering, why am I doing it this way? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Excellent. Okay, now let's come down to the floor. We're going to do a body weight tricep first. And to get down, you can step into a lunge and then come back to all fours. And when we're doing these triceps, you can either have your hands under the shoulders or you can walk out closer to a plank position, depending on how strong you are. So we're going to lower the arms so your forearms are parallel to the sides of the mat. So you don't want the elbows out. We want to work the triceps. Those are what everybody complains about. Those draperies that kind of hang a little too loose. Okay, now let's begin. 1, 2, keep the head nice and aligned with the spine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Now let's just do a little stretch in between. This is a little thing from yoga for a stretch, but you can try it if you like. Come back to child's pose, and you can keep your hips higher if you don't want to sit all the way back. And then take your left hand back to your ankle, and then walk your right fingers forward, and just feel that nice stretch there through the back of the arm and the latissimus too. Now let's come up, and then let's sweep the right hand back and walk the left fingertips forward. A lot of times when I'm teaching yoga, I have people putting blocks and blankets and things like this behind the thighs if this feels like it's too much pressure on the knee joints. So the child's pose is a great stretch for lats and also for your lower back. Now let's come back up and we'll do our second set. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice job. Let's just go to child's pose one more time. Stretch it out. If you don't like child's pose, you can also just like lay on your back, draw your knees to your chest, and stretch the arms overhead. Now let's come up, and we're going to shift over onto our seat. And if you're really tight in the hamstrings, then bring a blanket or something underneath your hips to elevate, because you want your hips under your shoulders. If you're way back here, then you need to elevate this part of the body. We'll place the band underneath the feet, and we're going to do seated rows to work the trapezius. A nice tall alignment, look straight ahead, stacking the ears over the shoulders, lead with the elbows and pull back. 1, make sure that your shoulders stay down and away from the ears. 2, 3, you can see my forearms are pretty much almost parallel to the floor. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Excellent. Now let's take a little break. And now draw attention to your rhomboids, that space kind of between the shoulder blades. See if you can kind of squeeze that space a little bit and let it go. Squeeze that space and let it go. Okay, so the second time we do the rows, I'd like you to think about, before you start going back, squeeze that space between the shoulder blades and then row back. And then you get rhomboid and trapezius activation. So let's aim to do that. And then just keep your spine lengthened. If sometimes if you don't have strong core muscles, you're going to want to sit like this, with your rib cage really compressed and closed up, which you can't breathe properly doing that. So really, when you do the rows, think about reaching the crown of the head up to the sky and staying open in the rib cage. All right, let's do our second set now. Remember that squeeze between the shoulder blades first, and then pull it back. 1, constantly breathing. Exhale and inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Excellent. Well, that concludes our strength training workout for today. So again, my Fitter Than Ever at 60 and Beyond book should be releasing in early August. So in the meantime, you can read my Fitter Than Ever at 40 and Beyond or Fitter Than Ever at 50 and Beyond. And I hope you found these exercises helpful, and I will have some more coming soon. Have a great day.